Whether you're brand new to Instagram or you're a seasoned pro, we need to make sure we're staying on top of our game when it comes to the algorithms that are ever changing on the platform. So we're taking a look at the 2021 algorithm right now and talking about what you can do for the different sections of Instagram to level up your game to make sure that you are staying on the algorithm's good side, because that determines which of your content is being shown to what people and how far your organic reaches go. So you want to make sure that you're checking out part 1 of this series for more information on the algorithm and how it works and how to make it happy. And let's dive in. We're going to be talking about batch creation so that you don't get overwhelmed while you're creating content. We're going to be talking about how frequently you should be posting. We're going to be talking about the stuff that could potentially get you kicked out of the platform because you're not doing it in a way that is going to be helpful to you. And we're going to be talking about some other things that you need to know to level up your game. Now, don't forget, we've got our video on those 10 things I'm focused on for me, my Instagram platforms, and for my students' Instagram platforms in 2021, as well as parts 1 through 3 where we broke down Instagram TV and IG Reels and stories and the main feed and guides and all the big important things you need to know when it comes to this. So make sure you check out those first 3 sections as well. But now we're going to take our deep dive into how frequently you should be posting, the way that you should be posting, and how to do it so that you don't get overwhelmed. Let's dive in. Now remember, posting consistently is absolutely essential to your survival and growth on Instagram or any social media platform. But let's just remind you of the frequency of posts. So your main feed, I would recommend typically 1 post per day. You can go up to maybe 3 or 4 posts if you're more on the entertainment side of things and people really want to see what you're doing, or if you have some special circumstances like you're a coupon or education person who has to tell about the deals as they are happening. So keep in mind, most people are going to be posting about once a day on the main feed on Instagram because you do not want to overwhelm your people. So plan about once per day for that. For Instagram stories, more is better. We're finding 5 to 10 stories per day is incredibly good for engagement. First one we do typically recommend is your face because people connect with faces and it looks less commercial than a graphic. After that, you can be answering questions, you can just post pictures of things, you can do behind the scenes. It's incredibly helpful for answering questions and showing the behind the scenes of your business, the why of your business, your products, your services, how to onboard with you, all those fun, fabulous things. Or you can really just take them on the journey of your day so that they go along with you and have that developed relationship with you as you grow and continue to show them who you are as a business person. Now, you also want to make sure that you are spending time answering those questions and doing all those things and using the features inside of stories. So take advantage of that and do about 5 to 10 per day. When it comes to Reels, we do recommend 3 to 5 times per week. You don't want to overwhelm people with video content because it's not a video platform specifically, but they are leaning and moving toward that path. They're focused on pushing reel content right now, so I know it takes a little bit to record video, so you don't want to overwhelm yourself with 7 days a week, but try 3 to 5 and see what that sweet spot is for you. You also want to make sure that you are leveraging IGTV. I do not recommend you do a ton of IGTV content. I would recommend about once per week you are creating an IGTV video, and then if you have a live stream, repurpose that to your IGTV as well, because then it can live there, people can access it later on, it gives you more content, but not as much work. With live streaming, I do recommend that you go live at least once per week. Don't go live so many times that it burns out your audience or you, but start with once a week. That's usually pretty good. Pick your day, pick your time, and then teach your people to show up for it. If you have the availability to do more than once per week, absolutely go for it. And if your people show up, that's fantastic. But keep in mind, most people do not show up for your live streams. They show up for your replays. So even if people are slow to join you with your live streams, remember you're going to get those views on the replays. So keep at it. Try once a week, bump it up to 2 or 3 times a week if you have the availability, especially if you're bringing other people on as guests. You want to make sure that when you're creating guides, you're doing at least 1 per month. You're just curating content so you don't have to worry too much about this. This is not high stress. This is not high effort. So once a month is going to be great for you. If you can do more than 1 a month, that's also going to help. But aim for once a month so that you do not have to struggle as you are creating this content. And then you want to make sure that you are taking care of every different section that Instagram offers you inside of your business simply by repurposing your content and giving it in a slightly different format so that people can engage with it in the way that they want. Now, we know batch creation is my favorite thing ever. I love creating lists of content that I'm going to be doing and then doing it all in one shot to save myself a ton of time and effort. So when it comes to batch creation, and we've got resources for you down below on that, I want you to either plan for 1 week or 2 weeks. I don't want you to jump into a full month or more at this time as you're working into getting into batch creation. But I want you to plan for either the week or for 2 weeks. And I want you to sit down and figure out every single main feed post, every single reel that you're going to be creating, every IGTV video that you want to spend your time on. Stories can be a little more in the moment, but have a vague idea. If you have something that goes with the content you're putting out that day, by all means, list the stories you're going to be doing. Then you're going to batch create this. So that means if you are filming videos for Reels and for IGTV, you're doing it all in one sitting. You're picking one day, taking 1 hour, and you're filming all of it. You have to set up your camera one time. You have to set up your lights one time. You do your hair, your makeup, your outfits one time, unless you're switching your outfits, then you're just doing that as you go. And you're just knocking them all out. You get into the mindset where you're going to stumble over your words less. So the more you're doing it, the less you're getting wrong as you go. Your initial reels, the initial videos you're filming might be a little off, but once you get into it, the flow becomes so much easier. So you're going to film all those things, then you are going to edit them, you're going to draft them, you're going to have everything ready to go, and it's all in this condensed time period, and then you just release it as you need to. Again, I've got resources on that down below for you. Make sure you check that out. I am the content creation queen, so just check that out. I'll help you out with that one. But I highly encourage you to do batch creation, and then pick a different time frame for each thing. So if you're taking photos for your main feed, you take 1 hour on whatever day, and you film or you photograph all of those things. You have everything ready to go, all your props, all your setups, everything you need, and you just move from one to the next, to the next, to the next, and knock it out all in one. Then you edit all of them so that the lighting's correct, so that you are doing any retouching that you need to, all at one sitting. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to stress about content that you're doing today. You don't have to film everything and photograph everything you're creating today for today. You're already done, which means you can then go about your business and run your business way more effectively. Batch creation is amazing, has saved me so much time, so much energy, so much effort, and so much stress. I highly recommend it. If you have not tried it yet, let me know why you haven't tried it, and if you're excited to jump in, go ahead and let me know. Bonus, if you have done batch creation, give us your tips down in the comments below. One of the things that I get asked about a lot when it comes to Instagram is what scheduler should people be using, and I have some pro tips for you on this one. You shouldn't be, because this makes it look like a bot is posting on your platform, which could dramatically affect your reach. It also means that you're not there to engage. Remember, what is the algorithm's entire job? It's to give community to people to keep them on the platform longer. They're showing content that gets them to engage and build up community. The algorithm's looking at what you're doing. So if you post something and run, they know you're not there to support your people. Let's just say you've posted something, whether it's manually or through a scheduler. You posted it and you immediately leave the app. What happens if somebody leaves a comment? You're not there to respond to them. They don't like that. So if your comments sit for a very long time, if you immediately post and somebody immediately comments and you're no longer there, that's a problem. That makes you look bad because you're not there to support your people. So I do not recommend using schedulers because first, it looks like a bot. It's somebody else posting it and pushing your content to it. You're not there to then respond and build community, and it really just doesn't look good, and it doesn't feel good to people. If you just posted and you've posted a picture, and within the first 2 minutes, somebody's there and responding to you, and you don't respond back for a day, for hours, for whatever it is, that just feels bad. If I go and support somebody, if I see somebody has posted something and I like their content and I leave a comment to support them and they don't care for a prolonged period of time, I'm not going to do it again. So you want to make sure that you're there and active every time you post. You can draft things, absolutely draft your content. You do it directly inside of Instagram. And then all you have to do is press the button. So you get the photo, the video, the whatever up, you get your titles, you get your captions, you get your hashtags, you're ready to go. All you have to do is press the button and then just kind of hover there for a minute or two so that you can respond to comments and engage with other people, which is a pro tip. You should absolutely be responding to other people, and we're going to actually talk about that in a minute. But you want to make sure that you are not using a scheduler. That does not mean you cannot put things into schedulers and figure out your grid. If you want to figure out your grid or when you want to post things, if you want to plan things with that, fine, you can do that. That's totally acceptable, and that works really well for figuring out what your content schedule is going to look like, but do not let that particular platform push your content out. That definitely hurts your reach on any social platform. So just a pro tip for you there. Also, while I'm at it, please don't use engagement pods. That again looks like bot activity. You want natural, real, organic conversation with people. So go support your friends, but don't like engagement pot it, because that is a surefire way to kill your reach and kill your organic content that you are posting on Instagram. So don't do that. Make sure that you're only using schedulers to plan, not to push your content out. So right about now, you're probably asking, what should I be posting? There's so many different things I could be posting. What is the ratio between pictures of me and videos and reels? What does this look like? So when it comes down to it, it really depends on your individual business, the things that you're putting out there, the platform that you're working with, the followers that you have, and I recommend a mix of these. It should not all exclusively be of your face. People will not love seeing you every single image, every single day. But you should be making sure that you establish that trust by having your face out there and really being the face of your brand. You should be showing off some stationary objects. So have pretty lifestyle photos that you're putting out there too. Show off your products, show off the things that you're doing. You can show off the restaurant that you ate at. You can show pretty scenic things as long as it goes with the content you're creating and the feed that you've developed, the aesthetic that you're creating, and it goes with your brand and business. You want to make sure you're also putting out videos. Videos are incredibly important. Video content is king right now. It is very strongly what is leaned into on every single social media platform out there that has the ability to do video, because that's what people are consuming right now. So you want to make sure that you are leaning into video content, you're leaning into reels, you're putting out some of those live streams and IGTVs, but you really want a good solid mix of the different types of content. You want to be putting out motivational quotes or quotes from you on your business. You can put out client quotes. You can put out things. We don't want to overwhelm people with words. So when you are creating quote graphics, please don't have like really big, massive things. None of us are going to stand there and read that. We don't want to spend our time reading a quote, even if it's from somebody we love, even if we know it's going to be valuable. 90% of people will not read long quotes. So have one sentence, really short, punchy quotes that are effective and make people feel something or motivated to do something, make them want to engage with it or gain some kind of introspection from that. So if you are using quotes, make sure that they are bold. You are doing like a solid-ish background is translating well right now. So like a white background with black text typically works really, really well. You don't want a lot of patterns. You want to make sure that you have a very clean looking feed that looks intentional and looks curated. Now, it's not 100% essential that every single image is 100% perfect and it looks like a magazine. We're straying away from that right now. We're not looking for highly curated content for everything. That was a couple of years ago. Now we're in the more real time, more real, more raw. We still want high-end looking photos that are properly lit, that are not pixelated, that look like we put some effort and intention into it, but it doesn't have to be perfect every single time. So lean into what works for you and your brand and resonates with your people. Study what works, test what works, track what is working and what is not working, and lean into that. It's okay to pivot, it's okay to change. Don't do things that are like seriously outlying from what you do, because that's not going to help you. If you've got a bunch of light, bright, and airy photos and all of a sudden you've got this dark thing that's very, very different, that's going to really stand out and not feel authentic to your brand. So just stay kind of within the realm that you've created for yourself, but it's okay to pivot and change and test and track what does and does not work. And then just make sure that you're putting a mix of content out there. It doesn't have to be your face every single time. You definitely do need and should have your face out there to establish that trust, especially if it's a personal brand you're working with. But you also want the quote graphics. You want to make sure that you've got lifestyle images, you're doing behind the scenes, you're doing videos, all those fun things inside of your feed to really make it an authentic and engaging conversation with you and your brand. Okay, we know the name of the game when it comes to Instagram is engagement, engagement, engagement. Community building, conversation, and having people actually have those conversations with you is incredibly important to the algorithm and to the platform in general. We want to make sure that we're having those real-time interactions with people, so we can't just sit around and wait for people to show up here. We are not the queen or king sitting high on the mountain waiting for the peasants to come and visit us. No, we have to be in the conversations. We have to create the conversations. So just because you've got amazing content, just because you're offering great value and you're producing really cool stuff that people should and do want to see, doesn't mean that our job is done. We have to get out there and we have to have those conversations and start those conversations. So get out of your own profile You do not need to constantly be sitting in your own content. Get out there and go see what other people are doing. Find your ideal clients and go interact with them. Not in a spammy way. We're not asking them to buy things or asking them to come follow us or asking them to interact with us in some way. We are just going and leaving really nice comments on people's content. We are supporting them. We are watching their videos. We're interacting with their reels. We are sharing things if necessary. If it's something we think our people would find valuable, sure, DM people, send it to your stories, whatever. But for the most part, you're just showing up and leaving a kind word of more than 4 words. So you need a sentence of more than 4 words. Emojis don't count. And basically kind of ask a question. You want to leave something supportive, but then also ask a question. Why? Because it gets that engagement. They're looking for people having conversations on this platform. So if I see somebody's really cool picture of a beach, that's great. And I want to talk about mermaids, and I want to talk about the ocean, and I want to talk about swimming in the ocean, all the fun things. So I'm going to go leave my 2 cents. I'm going to leave my opinion of things. I'm going to leave something supportive, but then I want to make sure I give them a reason to comment back. I do not ever want to go leave a comment that people could just like and move on from. So I want to make sure I'm asking something engaging. Where is that beach? Oh, what did you do? I see that you've got kids. Like, how did you manage a beach trip with kids? How did you deal with like the beach towel situation? Like, ask a question, ask something where they can give an opinion or respond to you in some way, tell them a funny story and ask their opinion of it. Make sure you're doing something to have that conversation. And good people who want to grow their platform will respond back to you. And when you facilitate that conversation and you have an engaging conversation with them, they'll probably check out your profile. And if they like it, they may even give you a follow. Go into this knowing you are doing this to support somebody else, not to elicit their follow. That should not be your objective or your goal here, because that's not going to work. And that comes off kind of scammy. People know when you're like there to get attention. So please just go and leave something inspirational or inspiring or supportive, ask a question, have a conversation, because even if they do nothing else, even if they do not look at your profile or follow you or comment on your photos or whatever, you have banked some goodwill with the algorithm because they see you're trying to facilitate conversation and create community. So whatever you do during the course of your day, when you've got a few minutes, go comment on other people's posts. Go interact with them in some way. Leave some likes, leave some comments. This doesn't have to be big things. Some people sit down and take a chunk of their time, like 10 minutes, and they just go through as many as possible. Some people do it while they're waiting in line at the grocery store or while they're waiting for a file to save on their computer. That's what I do. You want to make sure that you're using those little times during the day so that it doesn't become overwhelming. There's a lot of really great ideas and theories and rules about how many of these you should be doing, but really it comes down to what you think is valuable. Make sure you're finding people you want to interact with and you want to see and you want to support. Don't do it just to get noticed. You want to make sure that you are creating engaging conversation as often as you can without overwhelming yourself. So do the best you can. Go support people who are potential clients for you, your ideal clients, other people in your industry. Just go leave some love and spread some joy, and that is going to help your algorithm standing. It's also going to potentially bring you some new faces, and even if the person you're commenting on does not come check out your profile, maybe some of the other people in the comments will. Maybe you've got something that they are resonating with in your comment and they're going to come check you out. So there's lots and lots of ways you can extend your reach through creating conversation and comments on other people's platforms. But just make sure you are taking the time and effort to be a part of the community and not just take from the community and ask of the community. Make sure you're pouring back into the community by having those conversations with people on their platforms as well. Instagram is incredibly easy to be successful on when you understand the algorithms and you're taking the time to create the content it wants. We know that it's looking for content that people are actively engaging with to serve them more content like that so that it keeps them on the platform longer, which means they can show more ads, which means they can make more money. So when you please the algorithm by giving it the content that people are interacting with, you're going to do really, really well. In fact, the other day I posted an Instagram reel, and in the first 20 minutes it had about 1,000 views, and then within the course of 10 minutes I had gained 3,000 more views. Once the algorithm finds a piece of content it likes, it shows it to everybody. So you just have to do some trial and error, figure out what works best for you and your audience, and keep that algorithm in mind as you're creating your content to really lean in to what people are gravitating toward right now. And don't forget, that changes. So you're going to have to test and you're going to have to adapt. This is not a one and done deal. Once you figure out what works, it's going to work for a little while, and then you're going to have to pivot again to stay on trend and to stay with what people are gravitating toward, engaging with inside of this platform and all of the platforms. I love Instagram. They are giving us so many more tools and resources, and I know that this is being filmed early on in 2021, so I want you to keep coming back here and check in my caption. I will be updating you as they roll out new features, as they give us new functions, as they change and pivot. I will be keeping you up to date with this so that you can change and pivot within your business as well to grow, succeed, and thrive on Instagram. And if you've got questions, I would love to get them answered for you. Go ahead and drop those in my comments below. Hit the subscribe and notification bell, because in the next video, we're actually breaking down what I would do to succeed on other social platforms. So we're going to continue this series where we're breaking down everything you need to know from me as a professional social media marketing educator who has studied, tried all these things, has taught hundreds and hundreds of students in person, through courses, in conventions and events, all of these wonderful things, and I'm bringing this information to you for free right here on the YouTube page. So hit subscribe and the notification bell. I'll see you in the next video. We're going to be breaking down more of the social media platforms so that you can thrive over on the socials and create more profit inside of your business. I'll see you there.